You have probably recently heard of Bob Vylan, not to be confused with Bob Dylan, who the name Villain is a shameless plagiarisation of for obvious reasons. Bob Dylan, ironically enough, is a still alive, now aging, Jewish-born songwriter whose original name was Robert Zimmerman. Zimmerman is a name widely used in Jewish circles, and he actually has a Hebrew name, I discovered, Shabtai Zizel ben Avraham, just to better highlight Bob Dylan's Jewish ancestry. Bob Vylan, on the other hand, is this, please don't have nightmares, and the ironies don't stop at the plagiarisation of the name of the famous Jewish-born songwriter. So, Bob Vylan are an English punk duo based in London who play a style merging elements of grime, punk rock and hip-hop. Bobby, with a Y, Vylan, serves as the singer and the guitarist, while Bobby, i.e. Vylan, is the drummer of the band. So, Bobby, with a Y, as in this pretty boy on the right here, is clearly the star of this show. Both members use stage names to maintain their privacy and collectively refer to themselves as the Bobs. They like to maintain their privacy. They have a funny way of going about it. The band does not cite Bob Dylan as a musical influence, but they're happy to make money from plagiarising his name, switching the D to a V, and all the negative connotations that the word villain carries. All that is fine. And having plagiarised the famous Jewish bearer of the name for all it's worth, and mindful of their extreme desire for privacy, Bobby, with a Y, as in that one there, goes on stage at Glastonbury and calls for the death of Jews in Israel in a showing broadcast live on the BBC.
Free, free! Free, free! Free, free! Alright, but have you heard this one though? Death, death to the IDF! 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 Hell yeah, from the river to the sea, Palestine must be, will be, inshallah, it will be free.
There are not too many high points he misses. He starts with a political slogan at what is loosely described as a music festival.
Free, free! Free, free!
He gets the crowd into a tribal frenzy, chanting death to the Israel Defense League.
Death, death to the IDF! Death, death to the IDF! Death, death to the IDF!
And he finishes it all off with another notorious anti-Jew slur and an Islamic incantation for good measure.
From the river to the sea, Palestine must be, will be, inshallah, it will be free.
He does not miss a lot. The Israel Defense League is not an abstract concept. They're people. They're not oak trees or limestone. They're animal rather than vegetable or mineral. And inciting murder can carry a life sentence. Offences Against the Person Act 1851, which does still seem to be in force. Conspiring or soliciting to commit murder. Whosoever shall solicit, encourage, persuade, or endeavour to persuade, or shall propose to any person to murder any other person, whether he be a subject of Her Majesty or not, and whether he be within the Queen's dominions or not, shall be guilty of a misdemeanour, and being convicted thereof shall be liable to imprisonment for life. Is this proposing to any person to murder another person?
Death, death to the IDF!
The IDF are persons, and their killing is being proposed and broadcast live on the BBC on a Saturday afternoon. But crucially, he's black and he's got dreadlocks, and therefore he will very likely be immune from any prosecution for incitement to murder. And he topped it off, this performance of his at this music festival, broadcast live on the BBC, with his middle finger stuck mockingly into the face of anybody objecting to the erasure of British culture, an erasure which his performance here did an awful lot to advance. This is 25 seconds worth. It is very repetitive and expletive-ridden, although I might have decided to edit the expletives out of this version when I upload it to YouTube.
Heard you want your country back! Ha! Shut the f*** up! Heard you want your country back! You can't have that! Heard you want your country back! Shut the f*** up! Heard you want your country back! You can't have that! Heard you want your country back!
Heard you want your country back. Shut the F up. You can't have that, says Little Dreadlocks Boy, who's so scared of privacy invasion that he goes by pseudonyms. Are you so sure about that? Brave Little Dreadlocks Boy, who I will refrain from describing with the eloquent language that some people have chosen to adopt. Incitement to murder carries a maximum sentence of life imprisonment, and this is arguably very much incitement to murder, but which we know the police will do absolutely nothing about because of the skin colour and the dreadlocks. And any and all related controversy that the BBC suffers, they will calmly write it out because of the skin colour and the dreadlocks. And you will carry on paying the BBC licence fee in order for them to broadcast this stuff live on a Saturday afternoon.
Death, death to the IDF, death, death to the IDF, death, death to the IDF. Heard you want your country back. Ha! Shut the f*** up. Heard you want your country back.